Okay, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, rather. Um, Thank you all for coming out to our outreach today. We're going to have a short presentation and a film following today's presentation. And the discussion that we're seeking to have today is all about the different ways that technology can assist you in becoming better, more informed consumers. Um, so, hopefully, at the end of today's outreach, we will all be more empowered to go to our local markets or grocers and be more conscious and more informed about the purchases that we are making and the meals we are preparing for our loved ones. Okay, so if you happen to think of any questions that I don't answer in the process of my presentation, please do feel free to pick up a piece of paper here and notate your questions. And following my presentation, before the film, we will have a short time for question and answer period. All right. So, just a brief overview of how my presentation is going to go. I'm going to provide you with a more detailed and thorough overview of what we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about what exactly can be done to improve our food choices and our meal preparation techniques when it comes to technology. We're going to talk about why this is important. Why have we set aside this time today to engage in this conversation? So, we're also going to talk about how easy it is to actually take what we discussed today and implement it in our lives. So, we want to make sure that we spend some time talking about how easy this is. We're also going to talk about the value in this information. So, why is this important? We're gonna talk about the different ways that this or that technology can build equity, not just in your personal health, but also in how and what you purchase. Um, and lastly, we're going to talk about what can be done with all of this information. And like I said, following my presentation, we're going to have a screening of the documentary, What the Health. And if you've not had a chance to see this documentary, it is quite revolutionary in how it attacks and seeks to answer questions as it relates to our diet and pain management and prescriptions and our reliance on medications to make up deficiencies in our diet. Okay, so the introduction, our technology can be used to capture all sorts of valuable data about ourselves and our habits, both that we are aware and unaware of. Medical professionals have begun using our connectedness to collect data which helps them to make decisions about our health care. Um, so, whether it's what you eat, how much physical activity you get, how much sleep you get, or how much water you drink in a day. All of these data points are important, and all of them can be tracked given recent technological developments. And so, like I said earlier, today our goal is to leave here empowered to make healthier food choices for our families. And on this PowerPoint slide, you'll see some of the most popular fitness trackers. Um, you'll see on the bottom the little watch like devices. Those are Fitbits. And you can see here I have on a Fitbit. I really cherish my Fitbit because it does so many different things. You know, it will, one, from when I go to bed until I wake up, the Fitbit will monitor my sleep patterns. Okay, so and it gives you a lot of insight from uh, how many times you were rolling over, you know, whether you were tossing and turning, whether you had a sound sleep, how many times did you awake, and what you'll be surprised to find out is you wake up many times throughout the night, or the depth of your sleep changes many times throughout the night, but you never fully wake up to be conscious of your actions or conscious of your state, rather. And so you can get a lot of useful insight from the Fitbit in that area. It monitors my heart rate. It monitors my heart rate anytime that I have this Fitbit on. And so over time, the more that you wear your Fitbit or any tracking device that's monitoring your heart rate or something of the sort, the longer you wear it, the more accurate it'll get, because it'll compile data over time and have that older data to reference to um, whatever data is being collected currently. And so you can only think, you know, over a period of 6 or 7 months, you know, if you know, go through some lifestyle changes or something of the sort, this data in monitoring your sleeping habits and your heart rate can be useful um, to your primary care physician. So not just does it monitor heart rate and monitor your sleeping patterns, the Fitbit will wake you up. It allows you to set silent alarms. So I have an alarm that goes off every morning at 5 o'clock, and it wakes me up. It vibrates. So as long as I have the Fitbit on my wrist, it will vibrate and wake me up, and that's my alarm clock. And so, if you live in a home, or if you if you don't have to wake whoever you share your home with whenever you wake up, the Fitbit is a nice little way to make sure that you don't oversleep without disturbing the entire house. These Fitbits, they range in price. Some of them are a little less than $100. Some of them are more than $200. So it just depends on your budget and what your needs are. What kind of data are you looking to collect, and what is your physical activity? So depending on if you like to swim, for instance, certain Fitbits are not an option for you because they aren't water resistant. So there are a lot of different options. Some are, but you have to be very particular in when you purchase wearable devices, because they have a lot of different capacities and a lot of different features that are not universal across those devices. So you definitely want to take that into consideration. One last thing that I really like about this Fitbit is that it monitors your activity, meaning your physical activity, in multiple ways. So you can actually start a workout, you know, physically go to the watch and have the watch, the Fitbit, monitor the workout. Or if you don't, for whatever reason, have your Fitbit on you, but you have the app on your phone. You can go to the app on your phone and keep that phone on you during your workout, and it'll monitor your performance that way. But if you don't have your phone on you, but you do have your Fitbit on, and you end up walking, 10 blocks unexpectedly, the Fitbit can be set to automatically begin monitoring that workout once it detects physical activity for 5 straight minutes, or 10 straight minutes, or 15 straight minutes. You can be flexible with when you want the Fitbit to begin monitoring. It monitors anytime you have it on. I want to be clear about that. But um, usually, if you've been walking 15 minutes, that's a workout, and so the Fitbit would like to monitor that and tag that as being a workout, not something that's necessarily done on a regular basis. So yeah, there are a lot of different data collection techniques with the Fitbit, and so if you ever are interested in obtaining one, they are available at our national partners. So we can definitely assist you and provide additional troubleshooting and setting up support if you ever choose to proceed along those lines. What you'll see above the Fitbits are 4 apps that I have really used a lot. These apps are completely free. Unlike the Fitbit, these apps are free. And so what you see is you'll see Map My Fitness. All of these are Under Armour apps. You'll see Map My Fitness. Map My Fitness is really an app that combines the Map My Walk and Map My Run. Um, and Map My Fitness really allows you to it allows you to participate in a hike, participate in a run, participate in a walk, participate in a bike ride, um, and you can do all of those activities in that app with one profile. And all of these apps are very similar to other social networking um, apps. You can build a friends list. A lot of the friends that I have on these apps are friends, that are on my other social networking sites. Map My Walk and Map My Run are apps that allow you to predominantly do those things. Um, all of these apps provide you with um, local routes. So if you're someone like myself who tends to travel from time to time, if you find yourself in San Francisco for 3 weeks and you really want to make sure you keep up your fitness, you can, find other walking trails. You can find other um, sites that individuals have walked and um, uh, saved the route that they've walked, and you can follow that same route. So if you're looking for a 5 mile, approximately, length route, you can look around wherever you are for routes that have already been charted by individuals similar to what you're looking for, and then you can just go to that route and not be caught off guard by the type of workout that you're looking for. And so that's a good thing about Map My Fitness, Map My Run, and Map My Walk. You can do all of those things there. And so there's really no difference. If you're a walker, I would encourage you to get, just Map My Walk. If you're a runner, you can get Map My Fitness or Map My Walk or Map My Run. But if you're an all of the above type person, just go with Map My Fitness. But do take the time to make sure that you change the options from walk to run, respectively, given whatever you're doing. And so there's also the app MyFitnessPal. And so what MyFitnessPal does is it allows you to export data from your Fitbit or Map My Walk, Map My Run, or Map My Fitness. It allows you to export your workout data over to MyFitnessPal, and MyFitnessPal allows you to develop a weight loss or a weight gain um, plan, and it allows you to put in data about your current build. So I would put in I'm 5'11", about 200 pounds, but I want to get to 167, which is the weight I should be at for my height. And so what it will do is ask me what type of lifestyle I lead, sedentary or active or very active, and you pick it, and it would tell you to stay within certain parameters in order to meet your objective or your the desired goal. And so, if you wanted to lose weight, it would tell you to stay within a certain amount of calories a day, um, and it would allow you to put in your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it would deduct those calories for each meal from um, whatever calorie count you have for the day. It also would allow you to um, input or export that data from your fitness tracker into that calorie count. So if your calorie limit for the day is 1,250 calories and you went out and did a workout where you burned 400 additional calories, well, then MyFitnessPal would take that 400 calories and input it into that calorie count for the day and say, okay, well, instead of you being limited to 1,250 calories, you're actually able to eat 1,650 calories. Um, Today. So they give you a lot of different options, and they allow you to maintain uh, tracking of your activity and your goals over time. So as you see here, I've got a picture of myself here. I am, by training, no dietitian. I have no training as a dietary consultant or anything of the sort, but I do know from firsthand experience the importance of getting your weight and diet under control. And I have been able to do what I've done, relying heavily on the apps that we just finished going over. And so that's why I feel comfortable and confident in providing the presentation that we're covering today. I'm not going to share with you anything that I have not done or tried myself. Everything that we're going to discuss is something that I can personally vouch for. When I was 27, I began to go through the process of evaluating my health, and I had some frank conversations with uh, my physician. Unlike most people, I knew that, or I had a feeling, given the way that healthcare had been discussed in our country over, recent history, the last 40 or 50 years, even going back to after the Great Depression, I really knew I had a strong inclination that the affordable health care and Arkansas's private option with the expansions that these initiatives made in expanding healthcare to vulnerable populations, I had a feeling that that wouldn't be around very long. And so, coming from a one of those vulnerable populations, I made it a point to take advantage of the uh, ability to have health care and without the heavy expense. So I tried to do my part to become a healthier individual, to kind of lessen um, some of the burden that I would cause the state to bear on my behalf. And so I'm very proud of the work that I was able to do in having a lifestyle change. I went from 267 pounds to, I think, the smallest that I've ever been is about 176. And like I said, my ideal weight for my size is 167. So, even at 176, I had a lot of work to do. And right now, I think I'm back up to about 195 or 196. So, it's still a lot of work to do, but this presentation will serve as a refresher for me, and hopefully, I'll become more committed. Again. So the app that we talked about earlier, MyFitnessPal, here's a little layout of how the app would work. As I said, MyFitnessPal is totally free, and some of the benefits of MyFitnessPal is it allows you to build a profile around your needs and the specifications in your life. It allows you to input certain things, such as your goals. If you're trying to get to a certain weight, if you're trying to just become more toned, or just become more active, or just trying to improve your diet, MyFitnessPal allows you to input things to track all of that. So whether it's food choices, how much water you consume, or the amount of calories um, you burn, MyFitnessPal will allow you to input those things and allow you to track those data points over time. And it syncs, as I said, with other compatible fitness apps. So fitness trackers, it would sync with those and automatically pull that data from your fitness tracker to MyFitnessPal. So you get a pretty accurate estimate on what you uh, are able to consume safely with it while staying in your target range. And so here you see just a little short uh, example of a day's entry. So the left side you see is a screenshot from a phone. Both of these layouts are available on the phone, but just to make it large enough to see, um, the one on the left is from the phone. The food diary, the larger one, it's from a screenshot on an iPad. So, but these apps are available on Android devices, iPhone devices, Apple devices, uh, tablets, and online. So you should have access to them somehow or another. But you'll see, starting with the the screenshot from the phone, the smaller one, you'll see where the goal for total calories consumed for the day is 1,210. Okay, so given their breakfast and their lunch, you see that they had consumed 1,077 calories, and then they went and exercised uh, for some amount of time and burnt 285 calories. And so, and then you get the net calories consumed. And so the net calories consumed for that day is 792, and that's just the amount of calories consumed minus the amount of calories burned from exercising, and that gives you a remaining 418 calories that that individual can consume throughout the remainder of that day. And so the best way to cheat, um, what I learned in tracking my food preferences and activity um, habits over time, the best way to cheat is to do the work to soften the blow of those calories you're going to consume. So you know, if you want to go out and eat that pizza, that whole pizza from Pizza Hut, and drink a 6 pack, you need to um, go out and do some fitness activity to burn some of those calories on the front end, so that all of those calories don't just go to the waistline, and they're already bad calories, but you don't want them to just uh, go to the waistline, even though as far as the some of the other deleterious effects of it on the body will still happen. So there, if you're really committed to um, maintaining a particular weight or getting to a particular weight, you definitely can be creative in using your exercise habits to allow you to not be so disciplined in your diet. So if you know you're going to struggle with eating foods you're not necessarily supposed to have, one of the best ways to erase that is by going out and getting active. And so MyFitnessPal also gives you a breakdown of your nutritional goals. So once you complete your profile on MyFitnessPal, it gives you a breakdown of how many carbohydrates, how many fats, and how many proteins your diet should consist of on a daily basis. And not just those are the three big things: the carbs, the fats, and the proteins. Because not all fats are unhealthy, not all carbs are unhealthy, and not all proteins are unhealthy or bad for you. But what you want to do is have a diet that consists of a adequate amount of those things that is not fluctuating day after day after day. And mainly, you want to make sure that you are getting the appropriate amount of each. And so it'll also allow you to, monitor saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, trans fats, cholesterol, sodium. Sodium is a big one. You'll be surprised just how quick you can get over your sodium limit in a day's time. And going over that sodium limit, even if you're skinny, it can have deleterious effects over time. I mean, consistently, day after day after day, going over that sodium limit is not a good thing. And so that's one of the really, really hidden gems uh, about MyFitnessPal and other tracking apps is it allows you to keep a track on those problem areas of the diet. And so, for instance, if you begin suffering headaches or dizzy spells, things that are often associated with high blood pressure, if you could, have this data and provide it to your primary care physician's office, and they can go through it at some point and say, well, okay, you've been consuming 38 or 4,000 milligrams of sodium uh, for the last 4 months, and that's when your symptoms have progressively gotten worse. Maybe we should think about putting you on a low or no sodium diet and see how that helps. And so it's just um, it's just another avenue of information available to you and your primary care physicians. And I'm of the attitude that more information is always better. And so let's talk about a little bit more about Fitbits. And Fitbits are not the only uh, activity tracker. Um, it's one of the more comprehensive ones, and it's my preferred one. But this is what we talk about as it relates to the Fitbit is generally applicable to other uh, activity trackers as well. Okay, so if you went out and got some other kind of tracker that's not a Fitbit, a lot of this still goes for those devices as well. But the Fitbit, some of this we talked about earlier, tracks exercises and general activity, calories burns and minutes active, and etc. So here on the layout, you can see that this individual has taken 8,001 steps. It looks like their um, step goal for the day is about 13,000 steps. You can see that gap there. They've not quite yet met that, but they have gotten about three-fourths of the steps uh, that their goal is in for the day. You see that they've walked about 3.3 miles. They've consumed about 1,100 calories, and they have been active 67 minutes today. And so most physicians will tell you that um, the desired activity goal for an adult is 60 minutes a day, every day. That can be walking, that can be playing tennis, that can be swimming, that can be riding a bicycle, that can be running. You are supposed to be getting 60 minutes of physical activity a day. And so the Fitbit allows you to keep track of those things. Um, it allows you to monitor how many days of the week you have been active. I think it shoots for 5 days a week to be active. Um, but it allows you to monitor a lot of different things. The Fitbit also allows you to develop fitness communities, and so one of the things I like about the Fitbit is the fitness communities. Once I um, kind of developed my own fitness community with my friends um, that I've had for some time, who had Fitbits, I was shocked to see how competitive and how fun these challenges can be. So Fitbit has challenges that can go anywhere from 1 day to 2 days to a week. And so what you see here is called the Daily Showdown. And so the way that the Daily Showdown is, you and 9 of your friends can be in a competition, and whoever ends the day with the most steps wins that showdown. Um, and so you can see that um, the so far the leader has 8,600 steps. Somebody has a little more than 2,000. Someone has a little less than 2,000, and someone has a little under 1,500. And the you can get updates throughout the day or throughout the time frame that the competition is going on, and you'll be surprised at how fun and how competitive these challenges can get. I mean, it's just another way to keep you committed to your goal of one, um, having a healthier lifestyle, and two, maintaining um, the daily activity recommendation of 60 minutes a day. Uh, as we also said, the Fitbit allows you to input food choices for tracking. That's how you get that calorie count. Now, I'll tell you this: one of the things I don't like about the Fitbit is its inadequate um, food entry or food tracking component. I much prefer my Fitness Pal's um, diary when it comes to inputting your food choices, simply because it's more detailed and gives you a better breakdown. You can kind of tell in Fitbit's food entry system that their primary goal was not monitoring food choices, but monitoring activity. And so the food entry on their end was kind of an afterthought, and you can really get a sense for that when you go and try to get uh, insight on your food choices and food patterns. And so many wearables are very stylish, and they're popular with tech savvy users, and they have very uh, user friendly features. So you shouldn't be, worried about whether you'll get a Fitbit and know how to work it. It's very, very easy to use. It's most of the time easier to use than um, the traditional watch, because the Fitbit does you don't have to set the time on it. It operates um, from syncing to the phone. So whatever time is on your phone, it will be the time on your device, on your Fitbit. So I'm really a big fan of it. Um, I think it provides great insight, and it offers comprehensive tracking. So you definitely want to be aware of the different ways that a Fitbit or any wearable device or any web-based um, activity tracker, in the sense that you can go back in and insert the details of your activity. You really want to be aware of the different ways that tracking these things over time can benefit you and provide you with more information when it comes to interacting with your primary care physician, and when you make your food choices. And so I mentioned earlier that the Fitbit does allow you to monitor your sleep um, throughout the night or throughout the day, depending on how your sleep patterns go. And so you can just see here how a breakdown of the sleep pattern would go. So you see the darker blues here uh, are the more thorough sleep cycles. So that's your deep sleep. That's the REM sleep. The REM sleep that so many people lack, and they never get to the sleep, never get deep enough into the sleeping cycle to get. That's your most restorative sleep, your most restful sleep, and so you can see the pink, the pinks and the light blues are the points throughout the night where you're tossing, you're turning, or you're awake. Um, and so and you get a breakdown over the amount of time that you sleep. Period. And so you have most people are recommended 8 hours uh, of sleep a day, a night. Um, According to physician recommendation, who this um, individual is not getting it, and on a lot of nights, it's not even close, and so you definitely want to be aware that, and that's one of the things that's a benefit with the Fitbit. Sleep is a understood component of the human experience. And research is beginning to show that, show just how important sleep and adequate sleep habits are for maintaining a healthy lifestyle, not just, mentally and neurologically, but just across the board. Um, we're beginning to get a lot more research and insights into how important sleep is, and it's really convenient that Fitbit does have this component um, to provide individuals with firsthand insight on their sleeping patterns. And we talked about Fitbit's ability to monitor workout, uh, workouts. And so here you'll see the breakdown of a post workout. And so you'll see that the workout lasted for 42 minutes and they burnt 542 calories, and their heart beat an average of 140 beats per minute. And so, of those 42 minutes, you'll see that um, according to the beats per minute of the heart, your activity goes into one of three categories: the fat burn zone, the cardio zone, and the peak zone. So, the fat burn zone is, I think, anytime your heart is beating um, 120 beats per minute, puts you in the fat burn zone. Any beats over 140 to 160 puts you in the cardio zone. A lot of people will say, "Well, I just do cardio," and a lot of people's most passionate or most or a lot of people's favorite form of cardio is swimming, or hard sprints, jogging, running. Um, so a lot of people don't know that a brisk walk can get you into the cardio zone. I've been there, according to my Fitbit data, just from walking. I'm from the country, and I don't, um, I won't run on pavement because I would like to keep my knees healthy and reliable as long as I have my body. I'm not a fan of knee replacements. And also the peak zone. So the peak zone um, is 160 and up, 160 beats per minute and up. It's you've exceeded the cardio threshold. You're really in that zone where you're burning fat. You're getting oxygen in your blood, and so this, that, and the other. That's the top zone. I can't say that I've been in the peak zone more than 1 or 2 straight minutes. But then again, like I said, I'm a walker. It's really hard to get to that point where you're getting those kinds of beats if you're a distance walker. So that's a breakdown of how uh, Fitbit provides data. So how easy is this? Well, all you need is a device and an internet connection. And so if you and to use MyFitnessPal or map um, to use MyFitnessPal or map my walk, your cell phone and its connection is your internet connection. Okay, so that's all you need. You can begin using those things today. You don't have to have a wearable to monitor your fitness activity. Map My Walk, Map My Run, Map My Fitness can do them all just using your phone. You'd have to keep that phone on you throughout the workout, but you wouldn't have to go out and purchase any other device to begin tracking your activity and getting feedback. Wearables, Fitbits can be purchased, but there are apps that will track your steps and exercise for free. Like I said, Map My Walk, Map My Fitness, and Map My Run are all apps that will track your steps and your exercise for free. And of course, if you don't have a device and you don't have an internet, you can always come over to the Tech Hub to maintain your tracking and update your profiles. And so, how valuable is this information and is it useful? Tracking your diet and your activity can be useful for patients and medical professionals both. It allows you to have access to more information um, because it gives you a vast chest of data points that can be referenced if need be. So if you begin developing some symptoms or some signs that something may be wrong, you can definitely try to pinpoint over time. Well, uh, you can attempt to pinpoint the cause of whatever the issue is. So if you are having a issue with your ankle or with your knee, and you've been increasing your workout regimen or the intensity of your workout regimen, you may be able to simply pinpoint um, that by reviewing your activity, your fitness activity. If you, for some reason, develop some sort of swelling or feelings of inflammation, you can go back and look at your congestion of sodium and see if that's the root cause of it. If you're having issues with blood pressure, you can go back and look at diet and things like that to see am I consuming too many red meats? Am I drinking too much alcohol? Am I doing too much? Uh, not getting enough activity, not drinking enough water. This is the beautiful thing about this is you no longer have to go out and have an independent consultant tell you these things. This empowers you to be the most informed person when it comes to your care, and that's always a good thing. And so the information can be shared also with fitness trainers to help develop training plans to gain or lose weight. Um, so if you're interested in going down to a gym or working with someone to have a lifestyle change and you can't go or you don't have means to be there physically as often as you'd like to be, these apps allow you to continue and to maintain your um, workout regimen while getting feedback and ensuring that you're making progress. So there's benefit in it in that way as well. And lastly, the information your on your meal plans or your fit on from My Fitness Pal can be shared um, with dietitians or local health experts to help you develop wholesome meal plans. And so that's also um, something that can be of great benefit. Um, so there are a lot of different interrelated benefits um, with tracking your physical activity and the foods that you eat, um, and they all kind of undergird and support the other. Um, so just keep those things in mind. And one of the last things that I wanted to point out before we start the film, what's the health? What the health? I'm sorry. So here on My Fitness Pal, so say you're going to go out and um, purchase a box of macaroni and cheese. You don't necessarily have to insert uh, macaroni and cheese in the MyFitnessPal app as a new entry. A lot of these things, because so many people have used these devices and insert so many different type of food groups and food items, many times, whether it's a beer, whether it's a loaf of bread, whether it's macaroni and cheese, all you have to do is take a picture of the barcode, it'll scan it and input it and populate the nutritional information um, in your app for you. And so you just select the adequate proportion size or the adequate portion size that you're going to be consuming. If you're going to eat the box, you put the whole box. If you're going to eat a serving, you just put the adequate serving, and it'll populate the appropriate information for you. So you don't have to do, math. You don't have to, do any dividing or multiplication. It'll do it for you and populate it, and you just save it and go on about your business. Okay? So what we're going to do, I kind of went over. What we'll do now is begin the film, What the Health, and then we'll bounce back and answer any questions following the playing of the film. Okay?